Hi, welcome to the Big Purple Blob. My name is Susie Church Brown, and I am here today to talk a little bit about gratitude. So first, I'm going to briefly talk about what gratitude is and why it would be important to have more of it in your life. And then talk a little bit about how to get more gratitude in your own life. And because I am a parent and wellness coach, I'm going to give a few suggestions on how you might be able to help your kids be more grateful as well, because it's a really important habit to develop early. So let's talk a little bit first about what gratitude is and why it is important. So it's a lot more, being grateful is a lot more than just, a quick yeah, thanks, whatever, as you you might award someone if they hand you a tissue or a plate of food at a restaurant. There's not a lot of thought or reflection incorporated into that particular thank you, right? Um, who 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 listening really knows what it means to be grateful? I mean, take a few minutes and really think about what it is. It's not just a feeling or a display of appreciation of kindness. Being grateful is not at all the same thing as being beholden to someone or feeling a sense of indebtedness for an act of kindness. Instead, gratitude means being able to take a minute to really reflect on an act that someone else may have done and that has positively impacted you. Perhaps it's not actually even something that someone specifically did. Perhaps it's something that is just existing around you, like a piece of nature or a really good umbrella, since we're in the middle of our monsoon season here in Sri Lanka. These gifts are coming to you, perhaps at the sacrifice on the part of another, but there's really that sense of intentionality from the giver, right? Gratitude is something that you feel in your everyday life or something that is beyond what you might expect. So why be grateful? What's the point of putting energy into caring about an act of another? So I'll talk about two specific points in just a second, but I also want to reflect on, so there's no amount, gratitude is in part with a lot of different emotions and feelings, many of which can be a little bit negative and weigh on our mental health and spirituality. Gratitude and regret and anxiety are often part of the same circle. And it's important to remember that there's no amount of regret that can change the past, right? There's no amount of anxiety about the future that can make a difference. But any amount of grateful joy can change the present, which is important, right? Because that's where we are. We're in the present. So ask yourself a hard question. Think about if you're on a road, right? Which way do you look? Are you looking forward towards your destination? Are you looking backwards at where you've been? Do you think about the places you will go or what you will do? Do you wish longingly for some sort of comfort that you might have known or loved? Do you worry or fret about the unknown, hoping that whatever the future will bring will be easy on you and not unpleasant? Or do you think about the past and rue and worry and fret about, something maybe you missed or wanting to do another take at the past? It's important to remember that regret and anxiety are the arch enemies of inner calm and happiness. Rather than wishing for something that can't be undone, how about we focus on, where you are, what kind of energy we can pour into today. So why be grateful? Putting energy into gratitude is good for your mental health. A grateful mindset predicts how happy and satisfied with life you can be. It also increases your capacity for optimism. It also predicts lower levels of toxic thoughts that maybe prevent you from being happy. Emotions like envy, possessiveness, materialism, these are not positive thought processes. People who regularly feel grateful often feel more energetic and enthused, and also attentive. Gratitude helps you to feel happy. I know it sounds really corny, and and I don't want you to just walk around with rose tinted glasses thinking, oh, that's great, and that's great, and that's great. It's very specific thought processes for being grateful. Being grateful is also good for your physical health. It helps reduce your levels of stress and shifts your mindset. So you'll have better sleep, and it contributes to your own health and self-care. Its greater senses of gratitude are associated with drops in blood pressure and a minimized anxiety-inducing response. So it seems to also play a role in healing. So the other part that gratitude, the other role that it plays in your life is it helps you to foster a greater and stronger connection to others and improves your relationship. So it benefits your social wellness as well. And this is not just with your family, but also with friends and acquaintances. So quite literally, gratitude is good for your health. So you might ask, how can I possibly focus on all the good in my life when there's so much bad going on in the rest of the world? And that's a very good question. And something you might reflect on for yourself and also help your kids to reflect on, because sometimes it's easy to focus on the bad news that you hear rather than thinking about what's good in your life. It might feel a little selfish to do so, but it's important to remember that what is going on in the rest of the world, maybe the negative interactions between nations, or there's an earthquake happening in Nepal or whatnot. That is not happening because of something that you are doing. That is happening despite everything going on in your life. So it's important to remember that you feeling grateful for what's going on in your life actually has no impact on what's going on elsewhere. And having moments and conversations about negative situations in the rest of the world is a really good way to get into the frame of mind where you feel good about what's going on in your life. So that leads us to the specific ways to be grateful. And if any of you have read my blog posts on my website, which is healthyexpatparent.com, you know that I like lists. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 10 specific ways that you can increase your gratitude in your own life, and 10 specific ways that you can help your kids to be more positive. Some of them are repeats, but with specific cues for your kids. So again, the reason why it's really important to be grateful is it's good for your health, right? It can help. The more you do it, the more it will strengthen the habit of being grateful. By deliberately adding more effort and time into being grateful, this helps you build your life satisfaction. And I will admit, at first, it will feel a little Pollyanna-ish, and you will feel like it might feel a little fake. But eventually, the habit will become so much more ingrained and so much more natural that it won't feel like you're being, it won't feel as forced. So let's start with number one, making a list. I know lists sound like work, but here's the thing. When you take a pen and a piece of paper and deliberately physically write things down about, things or people or actions or experiences for which you are grateful, it not only pays homage to that thing and it brings it to the forefront of your attention like a shiny penny, but it also helps seal that thing into your memory bank so you can continue to be grateful for it for an extended period of time. Additionally, it will help you to give you the opportunity to maybe flip back and look at your list, and you can reflect on things that maybe you were grateful for last month or last year or 5 years ago. Number two, be grateful to specific people. Tell them how you feel. And again, this might feel uncomfortable at first, but the more you share your positive opinions, the more you will spread the joy. This is an especially great, amazing thing to do with your parenting partner. If you are lucky enough to share that task with someone, let them know how much you appreciate them. Let them know specifically what you appreciate, not just, yay, I'm so glad you're here, but tell them, I really appreciate these 3 things that you did today that really benefited me, gave me an extra 10 minutes, or took that task off my shoulders. You can do this by verbally telling someone. You can call someone up, maybe out of the blue, and let them know, this is why I appreciate you. You can also write a letter and send it maybe by email or by an actual USPS, and just, let people know why you appreciate them. Keep a gratitude journal. So this is a lot like a list, but it takes your time to remember. It gives you the time to remind yourself of the gifts, the grace, the kindness, and the other good things that you might enjoy during a passing day. Helps to elevate what might be a seemingly ordinary event into a special moment. And again, this is someplace where you can chronicle these things and reflect back on what you might have been grateful for previously. Number 4, pay attention to your language. When communicating about gratitude, it isn't about how good you are. It's about the kindnesses or the good things that others have done on your behalf. So make specific comments out loud about the things for which you are grateful. Things, people's, actions, etc. Say them out loud, and this will help you to appreciate the story again. And others may also overhear and become inspired as well. Number 5, savor the good moments. Taking the time to really just reflect and consider a good moment that you've just experienced. The more we take the time to tune in and focus on the positives in our situation, the better we will be able to embrace owning a grateful outlook. Okay, so this one might sound a little weird, but number 6 is fake it. I know that sounds like a weird suggestion, but sometimes just smiling and faking a gratitude might actually inspire you to feel more grateful for real. Number 7, be grateful for your challenges and mishaps. And again, that might sound like a weird suggestion, but you can't always win. Remember, your experiences are on a spectrum. Sometimes you do win, and that's amazing. But sometimes you don't. And that means you get to try again and again and learn lessons again and again until you meet that challenge and move on. So without challenges and mishaps, we don't grow and we don't try new things. Number 8, volunteer. Volunteering not only makes you feel more grateful for the things that you have and maybe have taken for granted, but it will also increase your sense of well-being. You are going to be deliberately contributing to the well-being of other people, other animals, Mother Nature. And it's without the benefit of pulling a paycheck. So volunteering is a really important way to contribute. Human beings are very community-minded, and that one of the benefits of that community is that people contribute, and they contribute for the betterment of the community, not for the betterment of themselves. That's all a part of volunteering. Number 9, develop your grateful vocabulary. Yes, you can absolutely say thank you, and that's an excellent way to convey your appreciation. But take the time to really give details and express your thoughts to those to whom you are grateful. Don't just say thank you and leave it at that. Include details. Again, this is a great chance to develop these skills. You can do this by writing a letter or giving someone a call. Actually sharing these thoughts out loud will increase your own levels of gratitude. And number 10, embrace the bad as well as the good. This kind of goes back to the challenges and mishaps. Without the hard and challenging times, we wouldn't understand how good the positive moments are. It's a full spectrum. In order to appreciate the good, you have to experience the bad. So how do we help our kids be more grateful? Again, I'm going to give you some 10 suggestions. Luckily, kids of all ages tend to be more aware of connections and life around them, partly because their busyness, their level of busyness isn't quite to the level that we reach when we are adults. They also have an ability to appreciate things that we big people tend to forget. You know, that proverbial stopping to smell the roses on the side of the road. A kid's going to notice those roses, or they'll notice the amazing rocks on the sidewalk, or they'll spot that stray cat in the yard that they're passing. Still, it can be a challenge to help your kids to be more grateful. And I know you've all done this. You demand for them to say thank you to Aunt so and so for the sweater, and they don't necessarily like that sweater, right? That is not the same thing as being grateful. That's just following a command. So we want them to be genuinely reflective and appreciative of things, not just doing things because we tell them they have to do it. So here are some very specific suggestions to help your kids embrace an attitude of gratitude. Number one, make mimicry your friend. Kids are, if nothing else, they are amazing mimes for doing the things that we do, right? They are very good at at mimicry. So the more you actually say please and thank you and know the nice things that people do for you, the more they will pay attention to that as well. And they will repeat your actions. So this is kind of a two birds, one stone, right? You're more grateful, you're more deliberately grateful in front of your children, and your children will see that and start to also be more deliberately grateful. I had mentioned volunteering previously. Number two is volunteer as a family. Maybe it's volunteering for a food bank or a homeless shelter or at an animal sanctuary. Maybe it's helping the neighbor down the street. You know, all of you can chip in to help the family who isn't able to take care of themselves. You contribute to taking care of their yard. Put yourself out there as a group and do a kind deed or two or three, and don't expect anything in return for your efforts. Perform acts of kindness to be just that, to be kind. Number three for your kids, send a thank you card. You've just had that party. Someone just gave your kid a sweater. Write a thank you note. Maybe your teacher goes an extra mile and drops off the homework assignment at the house when your kid is sick. Both of you should write that thank you note. Being specifically and deliberately grateful and taking the time to write that card and sending the card, that will help that person understand how much their extra effort meant to you. Number four, think about specific things that you are grateful for and share them with the family at dinner time. So one thing that we like to do is do a game called Rosebud Thorn. And what that is basically reflecting on our day and what's going on. And we think about something that's new. So that's the bud. And maybe we don't know how it's going to go. Maybe we're a little curious. Maybe we're a little apprehensive. But talking about it will help us really, really understand how we feel about that particular new thing, that bud. And then there's the thorn, because, you know, during a day, not everything goes great. And we have to appreciate the good and the bad, right? So talking about what might have been a thorn from the day will help you reflect on some sort of challenge or hardship. And then you get to that rose, that beautiful thing, that thing that you're really grateful for, or that went really well. Sharing it with your family, sharing it with the people that you love the most. That's a really great way to deliberately be grateful for something. Number five, compliment each other. Saying something genuinely nice to one another can feel a little awkward at first, but it will also give you a feeling of happiness when you see how happy your words make that other person. Kids are actually really good at noticing good things about other people. So let them develop the skill to verbalize these good things. Sometimes maybe they are just in a string of grouchiness, or there's been a lot of sibling rivalry. Maybe ask your kids to practice on giving the family cat a string of compliments. That will help them maybe get out of their funk, maybe get in a better mood, and be able to focus on giving compliments to humans as well. Don't stop at thank you. So this is something that I mentioned for you as an adult as well, but helping your kids understand that thank you is a good place to start. It's also important to go on and explore why something is making them happy or why they are grateful for it. Exploring these larger feelings of gratitude with your kids will be an amazing adventure for you. You'll get to really learn about the way their minds and hearts work. It's really an awesome discussion. Number 7, take gratitude walks together as a family. Look at the simple pleasures in the day, maybe lovely flowers to a beautiful storm pattern, to maybe feeling a warm breeze. Again, maybe appreciating that umbrella. Just taking that walk together as a family is also a really positive experience to share together. Number 8, make a gratitude jar or a tree. Kids love visuals, and they love to be able to see an effect of their action. So if you're taking the time to write down the gratitude, which again, remember from what we were talking about with adults, that's a really good way to just acknowledge and give an extra boost to that thing or person or action. And then you can post that gratitude maybe on a tree or in a jar, some place that's actually visible to your kids and family. It will help keep those feelings in the forefront of people's attention. You'll be building a physical reminder about all of the wonderful things there are to be grateful for. Maybe another option would be to make a collage or a gratitude wall. Just something that's visible regularly. You walk by or you see it. Number 9, talk about feelings of gratitude together. Help your kids develop their language around feeling grateful and exploring the many aspects. What do we notice in our lives for which we can be grateful? How do we think about why we have been given those things? How do we feel about the things that we have been given? What can we do to express appreciation? Notice, think, feel, do. Being grateful is a deliberate action. And number 10, be positive yourself. Again, this is where mimicry will be your friend. Helping you and your kids see the positive in a difficult situation will help your kids flex and build optimism muscles as well. Remember, it's not always going to go your way. And again, it might feel a little fake to always be focusing on the silver linings, but those silver linings are going to help you get through those difficult situations. So, let's be real. The glass can't always be half full. It can, however, be refilled. And remembering that there are, even in less than ideal situations, there are good moments and good things. Being grateful, being deliberately grateful for what happens will help you to learn from that situation, maybe learn how to pass it on, learn how to be specifically thankful and grateful and help others pass on that positive feeling as well. I'll include a few links below if you would like to have some further readings. And I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to how to be more grateful yourself and helping your kids to be more grateful. And I hope that especially in November, when we have our celebratory National Day of Thanksgiving, you can take a moment and reflect on the positives that are in your life. Have a great day.